Hello again, everyone. My name is Marty Guthmiller, and I am CEO at Orange City Area Health System, bringing you on this snow-covered Monday morning, October 26, 2020, the 67th edition of COVID-19 Community Briefing. As it is Monday, we are going to stay with tradition and give you a local scoreboard. And then I'll follow up after our statistics with some local information as well. So first of all, at Orange City Area Health System, we have had 757 positives of the 5,189 tests that we've done. That is a 14.6% rate, up from last week at 14.2, so slightly up. Last week, we didn't do as many tests. We did 287 tests last week. We had 63 positives though in those 287. And that was at a rate of 21.9%. And the week prior, we were at 14.7. So we did have a jump last week in the number of positives. Sioux County, at 2,427 positives. That's 72 more than Friday. We've done 9,542 tests, and so that is a 25.4% positivity rate. The two previous times to that were at 25.1 and 24.9, so creeping up again a little bit. The 14-day average for Sioux County is good and bad at this point. The good part is that we've dropped to number 7 in the state. The bad part is that we actually climbed a little bit in our percent positive. So we are number 7. Sioux County is number 7 in the state at 19.8%. Previously, we're at 19.1. The time before that, 23.2. And the time before that, 26.5. So anything below 20 is good historically for us, but we did climb a little bit in the last week from 19.1 to 19.8. Plymouth County is number 5 in the state at 20.7%. They were at 19.9 and 19.2 in the last 2 times we've talked. O'Brien County, number 6, 20.1%. And they were previously 17.4 and 15.5. So actually O'Brien County has jumped just a little under 5 percentage points over the last week. Lyon County continues to go up as well. They are at number 12 in the state at 16.9%, where previously they were at 14.9 and 14.5. We're at the point where I would be better off counting the number of counties below the 10% threshold, because now it's climbing above the 50% mark. But this morning there were 65 counties out of the 99 in Iowa that were 10% or higher. The last 2 times we've spoke, that number was 50 and 44. So we've had a number of counties, 11 more counties than a week ago, at 10% or higher. And again, it's not that 10% is a magical number. I just picked it as a double digit and moving up. So we get an idea, generally speaking, across the state where this virus is at a relatively significant level. So 65 counties today at 10% or higher. Region 3, a little bit of positive news, but really pretty constant. 112 hospitalized in the 20-county region in Northwest Iowa. That number when we spoke last was 118. The number prior to that was 114. So not a lot of change there. Good news in the ICU, the number has dropped to 20, where previously we were at 26 and 24. Of those 20 ICU patients, though, 50% or 10 are on ventilators. There have also been 22 admitted in the last 24 hours. Sioux City still has the lion's share of those hospitalizations. Of the 112, Sioux City is generally in the 70 range. I haven't got the numbers for today, but the last set of numbers I got from them on Friday indicated they were at 72. So they're going to be in that 70-ish range. And so roughly speaking, 65 to 70% of these hospitalizations in Region 3 are in Sioux City. Iowa has 116,452 positives of the 939,561 tested. That is a 12.4% rate. Again, you guessed it, going up. The previous times before that, 12.2, time before that, 11.9, time before that, 11.7, and I think the time before that, 11.4. So across the state, we are seeing higher positivities. Again, that's part of the equation for this. While positives are going up, the level of acuity, again, is mixed and not necessarily going up proportionately. We'll talk about that a little bit later. Hospitalizations across the state, as of the latest data that I have is October 24, so 2 days ago at 2:18 in the afternoon. There are 499 Iowans hospitalized in Iowa. Sioux County has 10 of those, where previously we had 11. O'Brien County has 2, unchanged. Plymouth County has 4, unchanged. Lyon County 1, unchanged. Woodbury County, number 2 in the state at 36. Previously, they were at 42. Polk County is number 1 again in the state with 43 hospitalized residents, where that number previously was 40. Sioux County, by the way, at 10 is actually tied for 9th in the state with 4 other counties. So there are 4 other counties in the state with 10 residents hospitalized in Iowa. Deaths have climbed to 1,636 deaths. That's 16 more since Friday. Sioux County remains at 16. In terms of the local picture and boots on the ground, so to speak, in Orange City, today we currently have 13 inpatients, so that has calmed down quite a bit. Of those 13, 4 are COVID patients. The ER has been a bit calmer. It was calm relative to COVID. Anyway, over the weekend, we had a number of other things, but relative to COVID, things have toned down just a little bit. The numbers still aren't really reflecting that, but in terms of, again, the acuity, the positives within our community are not being reflected in our ER. They're not necessarily being reflected in our hospital, and they're not necessarily being reflected in patients coming in to be seen for a medical provider. Our nursing home, Prairie Ridge Care Center, we've had 0 resident positives, very fortunately, since July. Again, we test our residents weekly, and that result, again, last week was positive in terms of we had no positives, put it that way. So 0 positive residents at Prairie Ridge. Last Thursday, we also tested all of our staff again, as we test staff twice weekly, and there were 0 staff positives last week as well. Again, a blessing, and we're very glad for that. Because of this, we are beginning to look at opening things up just a little bit, where spouses, children's spouses are going to be able to visit in our community room. So we have some plexiglass set up, things like that. So we're going to be able to set up some scheduled visits. And so if you are a child's spouse, or the spouse of a resident. You probably already know this, but feel free to call the 707-6000 number, which is our welcome center, and you'll be able to schedule a visit. And again, those are very important, and we're anxious to begin that, but we're going to begin it slowly on a scheduled basis. And again, call 707-6000 if you are a spouse, a child, or the spouse of a child. We can get that set up for you. Landsmere Ridge, this Friday will mark 14 days since our last positive at Landsmere Ridge. That would mean our ability to open things up a little bit more, again, safely, and we'll be looking to do that at Landsmere Ridge as well. In terms of Test Iowa, our clinic next week, Monday, will shorten from 8 to 9, Monday through Friday. We're seeing the volumes drop quite a bit in the Test Iowa. Again, that's a good thing. And so our hours are going to reflect that volume. And so the process doesn't change, testiowa.com. You'll get your QR code and select the Orange City site. And you can come in and get your Test Iowa PCR swab here in our occupational health, located on the west end of our campus in that physical therapy, occupational health entrance. Just also as an update, we continue to have employees from time to time test positive, as you would expect out of nearly 600 people. We are up to 75 employees now since March who have tested positive for the coronavirus. Of course, testing is widely available, and we're making sure that folks are quarantined and isolated appropriately. Everybody here wears a mask all the time when in contact with people and each other. And so just want to let you know that the positivity is affecting those of us who care for others. And that's one of the important things that we want to do. And the flattening the curve thing was all about preserving that capacity. And we're doing that. Things are good. But a lot of times you forget about, you understand the doctors and nurses part, but sometimes you forget about the dietary part, or the cooking meals part, or the other parts that of a health system that are really required to make everything work. So just to let you know, we're at 75. So that's going to be it for today. I will look at doing an update again towards the end of the week. Hopefully our numbers are down. We keep thinking that they're going to go that way. And so in the meantime, we just ask that you continue to do all those things that you're very good at right now: mask, hand hygiene, social distancing, all those kinds of things. Be very careful out there. Stay strong, stay vigilant, and again, above all else, stay healthy. Thank you for joining us.